I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's a winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, it's Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. Tomorrow is the big day. Now, it's not quite the regular season, but we're all pretty much aware that the third preseason game is basically a dress rehearsal for the regular season. We're gonna see a lot of starters playing in the whole first half, and some might be playing into the third quarter. We might see some guys taken out before the second quarter is actually done with, but for the most part, we'll be seeing a lot of guys like Cam, Luke, CMC, we'll see Trey Boston for sure, Shaq Thompson, we'll see a lot of guys, K1, all these dudes who we know are going to be straight for the season, guys who we already know are going to be dead set on playing in the regular season, starting, like guys who are obviously cornerstones of the franchise. We'll get to see them play extended minutes in this preseason game, and this has been a long-standing tradition, not really long-standing, but a pretty decent tradition of us playing the Patriots in our third preseason game. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between two defensive head coaches, being Ron Rivera and Coach Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick understands that since 2011 when Cam was drafted by the Panthers, Tom Brady has never beaten the Panthers once. We are undefeated against the Patriots in regular season games. They've beaten us in preseason games, I think, before. But I think Bill likes to get practice against mobile quarterbacks, guys like Cam, guys who can kind of like subvert the normal kind of game planning you have to go through. Bill's gone and he's game planning for any kind of quarterback, the guys who are kind of stationary in the pocket, even guys who are a little bit mobile but can't really do all that much running. He can game plan for those guys all day, but it's a lot harder to actually game plan for Cam. So I think he likes that challenge. And on the other end, he likes his offense getting a challenge playing against Luke. Now, you're going to see some really good things out of Cam in the offense, but the real magic happens when you see Luke versus Tom Brady, two guys who are extremely smart on different sides of the ball. Tom comes out in one play, Luke sees that play, calls an audible. Tom sees him call that, he checks down something else, and Luke's like, nah, I know your check's in this formation coming out of this play. I know that check, bro. And then Luke checks again. There's a chess match going on. Every single snap, our defense is on the field, and that's going to be something to really watch. But in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 5 things to watch for in this preseason game against the Patriots. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some of my honorable mentions because I can't get to everything, and there are a lot more important things to get to than just 5 things in total. So one of my honorable mentions is Rashawn Golden. There was an article that came out just yesterday talking about how Rashawn Golden has pretty much been relegated to being a big nickel kind of guy. And that's not saying he actually won the nickel role. He's going to be the big nickel, kind of like a run support kind of guy, a guy who's going to be blitzing a lot, someone who may not really be going back out there and getting into coverage. You might see him in the flats. You might see him on running back duty sometimes, but he's really mainly out there for when teams have bigger wide receivers at the slot. But I really see him being used more in blitzing situations and run support. My second honorable mention is keeping an eye on Ian Thomas's injury. Just how hurt is he? How much will he play tomorrow? He is going to be a big part of our offense, mainly because he's been coming to his own as a tight end threat on our team, and also because there's no guarantee of Greg Olsen's health this year. Now, I hope Greg can play all 16, but if the past 2 years are any indication, we might have to really prepare for the reality that he won't be playing in some of these games. Maybe we let him rest, give him some of that Kawhi Leonard, that load management treatment. So we'll have to see how it goes for Greg, but it's going to be putting a lot more on Ian Thomas's plate, and he kind of stays getting injured. Now, I don't want to call him injury prone just yet, but he's been injured in the past. He was injured in minicamp, and now he's injured again. He's missed the first 2 preseason games and a few practices during training camp. We have to see if he plays tomorrow and how much and how he looks in that regard. So that's one of my other things. My third thing is the QB2 situation. And honestly, for me, this should be in my top 5, but I know y'all don't care about me talking about the QB2 situation. Look, I'm going to say it right now. Taylor Heinicke looks better than both Kyle Allen and Will Grier. We see Kyle Allen and Will Grier making kind of standard passes, passes to the running back, some slants here and there. But we see Taylor Heinicke making reads, making deep throws, posts, getting touchdowns. And with objectively lesser talent those guys are running with. So it is what it is, man. I don't want to get into it. If you want my full opinion, you can just ask in the comments or look at my older videos talking about it. We're going to keep Will Grier regardless, but I don't know if Kyle Allen has been a better looking QB2 than Taylor Heinicke, especially when you consider Kyle Allen's gotten reps with the 1s. He's gotten reps with the 2s during practice. Taylor Heineke has not gotten reps with the ones at all and barely gotten any time with the twos. I haven't seen very much reports of him getting any reps with the twos at all this offseason. So, I mean, for a guy who hasn't been getting that many reps in practice, by some of the reporters' own words, we've been seeing reports that he hasn't gotten very many reps at all. He's been looking the best of the three backups. Anyway, on to my 5 biggest things to look into for this game against the Patriots. Game number 3, number 5 is the starters. New guys versus old guys. We got to see how our guys look in this game. You know, most of these big name guys haven't played a down yet. For most teams, they have their quarterback one playing, you know, maybe a series or two. They have their running back playing a series or two. You see the linebackers in the game. We haven't seen Luke, Cam, CMC. We haven't seen quite a bit of our starting guys out there. Now, we have seen some of our starting, a good bit of our starting front seven play, but we haven't seen them all together as a unit. Also, I want to circle back to the Rashawn Golden point. I want to see who does start in the nickel for us. Is it Rashawn Golden? Is it Javian? Is it someone else? Is it Cornelder? I want to see who is going to start at that nickel spot, because in that article, it did mention that there was still a position battle going on for that nickel spot, which to me says that no one has actually distanced themselves from the pack as far as slot corners go, which to me also shows we don't exactly have the most confidence in that position just yet. So we're going to see how that looks for us, and we're going to get tested in this game right here, because the next thing I want to talk about here is the rookie spotlight. Now, there's a guy, the number 1 pick, well, the first round pick of the Patriots, N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry was a beast coming out of college. He should have been drafted a little bit higher as a wide receiver, but N'Keal Harry playing with Tom Brady, this is going to be a real test, especially for our secondary, which we need to figure out just how good they are. Now, when you're talking about Tom Brady, you know he's going to be going to his running backs a lot of short passes, a lot of quick passes, but I do want to see him target N'Keal Harry a bit, because I want to see how our young guys, how our secondary looks against that dude. They also have a cornerback named Jawan Williams. Y'all probably remember that name. He was a guy that I was looking at maybe us drafting in the second round. Now, Jawan Williams, he's fast, the dude's strong. I liked him a lot coming out of college. But if we can't have him, the next best thing is to play against him to see how our guys stack up against that kind of talent. I need to see who Jawan Williams is going to be lining up against, because he is a really good corner, and he's going to be good for years to come. The last guy I want to talk about for the Patriots is Chase Winovich, another one of their early picks. Now, Chase is another guy who we were looking at, I think, and I think a lot of fans really wanted. He's an edge guy. He's more of a defensive end. I want to see how our old line goes against him. They also got Michael Bennett on the other side, so I really want to see how our tackles line up against Michael Bennett and Chase Winovich. How, if we double team those guys, what kind of blocking assignments we put against one side versus the other. Will we see some blocking from our running backs going against those guys? We'll check it out. We'll see how it works out for us. But even for us, our rookies, I want to see how Brian Burns look. We will actually see more than 10 snaps from Brian Burns, and I want to see him go against this line. They have Isaiah Wynn, who was a really good tackle prospect. I think he was a guard and a tackle coming out, not this past draft, but 2 years ago. I really liked Isaiah Wynn 2 years ago. I wish we would have picked him up, but I want to see how we work against him. The Patriots O-line is really good. I respect them a lot, and I really want to see how our other guys stack up against these dudes. Now, obviously, I really want to see Greg Little. I think he played up until the very end of the third quarter in the game against the Bills last week, so I want to see how he stacks up. Moving on, though, my number 3 thing to look forward to in this game versus the Patriots is the passing target numbers. Now, look, we understand our offense is going to be looking a lot like the Patriots, where we have Cam throwing it pretty quickly to the running back. Short, quick passes, getting the ball out of his hands is going to be our bread and butter this season. But I want to see, how many times we pass it to Christian McCaffrey in this game, and how many targets DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel rack up. I don't want to cause any kind of, divide between the fan base of who should be number 1, who should be number 2, which guy deserves more reps, which guy deserves more targets, more catches, more yards, any of that kind of stuff. I want to see how many targets they get. Not just that, but in what situation? Do we go deep to Curtis more than DJ? Do we look at DJ more often on third downs than we do Curtis? What kind of routes are they running? Where are they lining up? Who's the first read? I need to see all that, because, it's not really a big deal to me who's number 1, who's number 2. I don't think there really is a 1 and 2 or any kind of, real hierarchy on our team, because I think we're going to spread the ball out a lot. Number 1 is obviously going to be Christian McCaffrey. And like I said, we spread the ball around. We're going to have guys like Jarius Wright, Chris Hogan. We're going to have Torrey Smith. We have a lot of other guys on the team, a lot of guys who are still fighting for roles on the squad right now, who are going to be, getting their own looks and stuff. But I do want to see, not really who we throw to more, but when and where and how we decide who gets balls and who gets targets in different situations. My second most important thing to pay attention to is the backup running back position battle, not just for the number 2 spot, but the number 3 spot as well. We've seen a lot of focus up to this point on Reggie Bonnafon and Cameron Payne. Now, we have seen a lot of really good work out of Elijah Holyfield. We haven't got a chance to see that many reps of Jordan Scarlett. I think he had only 8 carries, and he got 1 catch with Will Grier in our last game against the Bills, but he obviously missed the first game, so we weren't able to see all that much just yet. I gotta say, Reggie Bonnafon and Elijah Holyfield are looking pretty good, although I gotta admit as well, I mean, it's not, I don't want to say it's not too hard, but a lot of their really good looks have come from really short passes behind the line of scrimmage or just beyond the line of scrimmage, which is okay because that's what's going to be our scheme this year. We're going to be throwing out those really easy routes to our running backs, getting them out in space and allowing them to make some plays. But we have still seen both these guys make some pretty impressive runs between the tackles and even bouncing some of those outside. I really couldn't call it. I would even say maybe that Reggie Bonnafon might be the favorite, might have looked the actual most impressive, although I haven't changed my opinion on what I believe. I still think we should keep both Jordan Scarlett and Elijah Holyfield. But I gotta say, Reggie Bonnafon has really, really impressed me way more than I would have thought, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. But look, the biggest indicator on who the team is looking at the most is which running back comes in and starts the second half. That's what I want to see. That right there is going to give us all we need to know about this running back position battle, because he's going to be, the guy who's coming in with the QB2, and they want to see how he does with, the second best talent at running back. So I really got to see who the coaching staff puts out there, both quarterback and running back wise. And the most important thing to look forward to in the Patriots 2 in this game against the Patriots, defensive alignment. I got to see how many times you line up in 3-4, 4-3, nickel normal. Do we throw some 3-3-5 out there? What guys are on the field together? And what kind of situations we see for each formation? On an obvious running down, do we go to a 4-man front? On passing downs, do we just go nickel normal? Or do we go to a 3-4? How do we attack? Are we blitzing a lot? Where are we blitzing a lot? And how often are we switching the coverages? How often are we switching the fronts? Are we going to see a whole drive of a bunch of 4-3 and the next drive we switch it up and do a lot of 3-4? How are we going to switch it up every other play? I have to see not only what formation we're running, but how we're running it, when we're running it, and how often we're switching between what we're running. And that to me is going to be the identity of our team this year, how our defense runs. We know the offense will be revamped, but I think our defense this year is set up to be great. Like top in the league. I'm talking about really, really high in the league, maybe top 3, top 4 in the league. The offense can do what it does. We can really be a top 5 offense too. I mean, this isn't just me. It is me being a homer. I can lie to you. But we have a really good shot at being top 5, top 10 for sure in both defense and offense this year, and both can help each other out. That's all I got for you here, man. My top 5 things and a few extras on what to pay attention to in this game against the Patriots, dress rehearsal for the regular season. What are your thoughts? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.